Alright everyone, so let's get started with another wallet search. So if you watch any of my videos, we search for quite a few things. We've covered a lot of different material on bills in general, what to look for. Definitely go through my older videos, and I'll have some new ones coming out soon that kind of cover new facets of bill searching. But this is straight out of my wallet. This is pocket change and stuff from the last day or two. So let's start looking through it. Alright, we're basically looking for broken ladders, repeaters, just interesting fancy serial numbers, miscuts or misalignments or misprints on bills. This might increase the value of the bill over face value, give you a premium on the bill, allow you to sell it or just collect it. But without further ado, so on Series 2013, we know on pretty much every denomination, primarily dollar bills, there's always over-inking on the third digit. That's just something that's common to all of them. If you look through any of the videos I've made, other people's bill searching videos, it's just something common that you come across. It's not a collectible thing on the bill. I believe it's something that may be part of anti-counterfeiting measures, but nevertheless, as we look through the bill, we can see the Federal Reserve seal here, the Department of the Treasury seal here, 1789. I did have a recent video that talked about the history of currency as well as design changes in all the denominations. So that's something you might be interested in and want to watch. I'll put a link to that in the description box below this video. Let's look at the reverse of this bill since the front doesn't seem to have anything really collectible on it. It's definitely used and circulated. Everything seems to be printed appropriately. You can see if you hold it up to a light, you'll see the outline of the front obverse of the bill's printing. That's normal. The only time that it might be collectible is if you see maybe it's pressed through or the paper wasn't produced correctly. It goes through a multi-printing process when they make bills. Ooh, nice trinary note. It'd be a lot cooler if this 4 was out of here, but still a good trinary. I mean, 1, 3s, and 4s. That is collectible. This one's been definitely bifolded or maybe even folded twice. Anyway, we know that St. Louis is the H for the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, Missouri. Albeit, we're looking here at these serial numbers. They do match up, so that's cool. And it's a good trinary. I'll set that aside because I do like trinary notes, but we can see that the condition of this bill is a little bit, it leaves a lot to be desired. It's definitely ran through water. Looks like coffee's been spilt on it, so albeit the serial number's cool, not a great condition bill, but we'll set it aside. Moving on to the next one. Another dollar bill, Series 2013. On this one, we can notice that up here, it's standard printing on the serial number. Down here, we have that age-old over-inking on this 3 here, the third digit over. But generally, you'll see it on both of them. I wouldn't consider that collectible or anything. Let's look at the back of the bill. Everything seems to be printed accordingly. Of course, we can look at these through a scope, but one thing with paper money is generally, it needs to be noticeable just by looking at the bill, in my experience, for it to really gain a premium over the face value, so nothing there. I've yet to get a really good ladder bill where it's going to be, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth, or even a broken ladder, but hopefully one will come up soon. We know there was design changes with the $20 bill a few series ago, so watch my video on security features of $20 bills or just denominations of banknotes in general if you're interested in that. So Series 2009, this one's been folded up and in a pocket for a while. We can tell that from how in-depth the fold is. We have Jackson on the front. They're talking about removing Jackson off the bill and putting somebody else, but that's not going to be till the 2020s. Back of the bill, we can see a lot of fingerprints and stuff. That's generally from either the bill being wet or just somebody with really oily hands. That's generally what that's from, and almost instantly causes the bill to be less in value if it was collectible. Let's look at the next one. Serial numbers, they match up, of course, as we can see. We know that you're just going to have the stamp for United States Federal Reserve System for $20 bills. It's not going to annotate a letter in this to show what Federal Reserve Bank. It's just going to show a seal for the system, and the age-old Department of the Treasury seal, 1789. One thing I like to look at too is how these seals sit over the distinguishing of the denomination on the bill. That's something to look at. On most denominations, for example, on a $1 bill, we'll go back to look at this one, the seal sits on top of the one, whereas it's interlaced on most of the other bills. Here, it's also a different coloration of green. So if that's off, it's a lighter green, it's not sitting correctly, it's askew from the center of that word there, 20, then that's something that's going to be collectible. Same dealio on the back. It's all printed appropriately. I don't see any over inks or lack thereof. Move on to the next one. It's almost a date bill if you were to swap this around, but it's not a birthday note or anything like that. There is no April 34th. 2013 series. Generally, that over inking that's on that third digit is only really prevalent on ones. I've seen it on some fives and stuff, but 20s and other denominations don't seem to really have that issue. Same thing with the seals. They're sitting correctly. They're symmetrical to each other. As well as sometimes you can come across issues with the printing of the name for the Treasury of the United States or the Secretary of Treasury, but in this case they look correct. The reverse of the bill. Nothing's jumping out at me, so we'll move on. This bill definitely folded up and beat up. Nothing really great here. No trinary, no repetition, no block repeater or anything like that. So nothing with the serial numbers. It's definitely not going to gain more value than 20 bucks, but it's still 20 bucks. Tear. We'll move on. Another series 2013. We have a little bit of an ink issue here on this too, where it looks like it laid down too much. It presses the bill as it runs through a printing process. So sometimes you have an over ink. It looks like it was doing that just in general on that serial number, but that could be the case if I had more sequentially in this run. Maybe we could see if it was something that was repeated across the board, but it obviously wasn't enough through the quality assurance process to replace the bill with a star note, because the bill's not really messed up. It's not an error or variety bill, so therefore they didn't feel a need to replace it and annotate that by having a star note. You can see heavy pressing here. It looks like it was just putting down a lot of ink when this bill was produced. Next one, same deal. Lots of 20s in this one. I went to the bank the other day, so I just had to get change for the store. So that's why I ended up with more 20s than I normally would. I normally try to go through 1s and 5s, which is generally what I have in my pocket, and probably you too, unless you're just totally balling out, then you might have hundreds and a whole bunch of stuff. I'll have some videos on those. Everything looks to be annotated properly on this. It's another 2013, which is what you're going to see most commonly as far as series for 20s these days. Those are mostly the ones that are going to be given to you by the bank, especially in straps and stuff like that. Nothing there. Last bill. Seems to be another 2013, of course. We know the series numbers down here on this version of the 20. And if you're interested in what these the plate numbers and stuff like that are annotated on the bill and what they mean, then watch my other videos on the history of banknotes, as well as just the layout of bills, and we discussed that. But I won't bore you with that during the bill searching videos. I want you to be able to just kind of focus on what we're doing. Same dealio, nothing really collectible. So the only thing we came across today out of this video on pocket searching is a nice trinary note, 134-33113. It is a St. Louis, Missouri bill. Well, as the seal for the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, Missouri. But a nice trinary. I really wish that 4 wasn't in there and it was just 3s and 1s. That would have been awesome. But nevertheless, I mean, in some cases that's a binary note because it is only 2 digits. Albeit binary is more 0s and 1s. But hey, you know, whatever you want to call it. This one's pretty beat up though, but I'm going to add it to the collection. So definitely a cool find, even though a small one. Thanks for joining me on another bill searching video, and check out my next wallet searching episodes. And definitely check out my free giveaway video to talk about or learn about the free giveaway that CoinOp and Variety Errors here is going to be doing here in the next few weeks. Thanks for watching.